Mama, Dada, those sweet little words we cannot wait for our little ones to say. And once they do, we get hungry for more, right? More words, more communication, more language from our little ones. So how can we encourage that? Well, you've chosen the right video because I'm about to dive in deep. Hi, my name is Brittany Kelly. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, remember to hit that subscribe button, stick around, and also remember to hit that little notification bell so you get all the notifications on important stuff like this. And now that the formalities are done, let's get into the important stuff. Language. So first I want to give you a little bit of my background on the subject. I'm a mom of 3, and about 4.5 years ago, when my son was about 9 months old, I got really into understanding how to help him develop language skills. And I watched tons of videos from speech language pathologists and read tons of books, and I got really obsessed and I never stopped, and I to this day still read books on this subject. So I've pretty much been studying this for about 4.5 years. Actually, when I had my second child, I was so informed on the subject that I really dived in with her, and she was speaking in full sentences by 12 months, which I know is very, very unusual. In both English and Spanish, it was pretty crazy. But remember, all children are unique, so just keep that in mind as you go through this and help your child reach their own individual milestones with language development using some of these great and amazing tips that I found to be extremely helpful. Here's tip number 1. Baby sign language. So do you want to know what your baby's thinking, what they're feeling, because they're crying and you don't really know what the problem is? Well, if you teach them baby sign language, you will actually know. I used American Sign Language with all of my children when they were itty bitty babies, and it by far was one of the best decisions I've ever made. It is amazing. You really can teach your infant how to communicate with you using their hands, because they're better able to use their hands before they're able to say some of the words. Like water is a lot easier for them to sign than it is for them to say. There's a big myth that children won't speak because they're using sign language, but that's totally not true. It actually expedites their communication and wanting to use actual words. So always remember when teaching sign language that you must say the word when you're saying the sound, when you're doing the sign. Do not silently sign. Make sure that you're using your hands and you're using the word at the same exact time so they know the link. And I found this to be immensely helpful in teaching them other languages as well. I'll talk about that in a totally different video. The main resource that I used in order to teach my children sign language was Baby Signing Time and Signing Time, which I just got right on my Amazon Prime. And I would watch the videos, I would learn the signs. Sometimes I would have the children watch the videos, and we just love it. They were really obsessed. In fact, all of my kids, by the time they were 1, were able to sign about 100 signs. I'm gonna give you just a little sample of a couple of popular signs that babies will use. More, water, finished or all done, mom, dad, car, banana, apple, hot, cold, potty, and milk. Tip number 3, use visual cues. Now, just like signing is visual and auditory, you can use other visual auditory skills to help your baby understand the sounds that are coming out of your mouth and how they're able to make it. For instance, when you're making the B sound for B, put 2 fingers over your mouth, B, 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 or over their mouth to try to get them to say it. And also you can take their little 2 fingers and put it on your throat so they can feel the vibration. B, when you make the B sound. And then place their little fingers on their throat so they know to do the same and where the location is. It really helps them put it all together. These elementary sounds and cues can really help build the layers of language and words, because language does develop in layers. You take the sounds, the movement, everything with your mouth, your tongue, and whatnot. Put it together and you make words. Another way to practice is take a mirror and blow kisses. Mwah, or blow bubbles to help the child understand and move and train the lips for certain sounds later on. You'll find it's really helpful if you put a mirror in front of them and have them make little sounds, vowel sounds, and everything else. Especially really tiny babies who are only even 3 months old can practice this as well. Saying ah or eh in the mirror, and they can watch you. They'll giggle a little, but it really helps them develop their language later on. All right, we're on to tip number 4, Parentese or motherese. This is actually that sing-song, high-pitched way that moms or parents or people talk to babies when they see them. You know, hi, baby. Are those your little toes? Yes, they are your little toes. Very annoying sound to adults. However, to children, small babies, it's actually really important because it helps them hear the beginning, middle, and ending sounds of words better. And that's really important so you know how to say it. Remember, to make a word or a sound, really, you need to figure out a couple of things. And it's kind of complex when you think about it for a little bitty baby. You need to know what your vocal cords are doing, where your tongue is positioned, if it's moving, not moving, up, down, whatever. How are your lips positioned? Where is the air coming from, your nose or your mouth? Lots to think about. You put it all together and boom, you have sounds and words. So if you think about it in terms of that, you'll be better able to help your child build the layers that are required in order to make words. Also, remember, singing to your baby is really, really good. And it helps them, especially if it's a song that's really, really repetitive, but like row your boat. Row, row, row your boat. All right, this one is a big one, a really big one. It's 30,000 words a day. That's right, that's the magic number. In a book called Meaningful Differences, 2 scientists did research and studies and found that the magic number for word nutrition is 30,000 words a day for children from birth to 3 years old, and it showed a significant link, direct link to academic performance in the 3rd grade. And apparently, the average man only speaks 7,000 words a day, and the average woman 20,000 words a day. So you need to aim for 30. But just to look at the gender thing, the 7,000 versus 20,000, it's no wonder that little girls tend to formulate their first words and say more words than little boys in the beginning. So just take note of that gender difference when you're considering your own little one as a milestone. All right, so now that you know the magic number and it sounds really intense, let me tell you how you can get to that magic number, 30,000 words a day. It's in the next 2 tips. I'm really gonna help you with that. Tip number 5, narrate your day. So narrating daily routines really helps a child, especially because there's some repetition there, and repetition is your friend in early language development. So make sure you try to narrate every single little thing that you or the baby does during the day, whether it's up the stairs we go, up, 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 down the stairs we go, changing your diapers, legs up, diaper off, put the diaper on, snap, snap. I mean, literally describe everything you're doing. It might seem obnoxious at first, but trust me, you'll get to that 30,000 word a day magic number, and you'll be thanking yourself later on when your kid does really good in school. Another narration that you always can do, of course, is through play. You can take little animals or little scenes, make believe, and do the sounds for the animal and label the animal or the thing. This is a cow. Cow says moo, moo, moo. This is a frog. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Why am I having so much fun with this? Ribbit. I'm so lucky I have kids because I am a big kid. Tip number 6 is read from the start. You can start as early as birth. In fact, you can start as early as when they're still in the belly, because they can hear you sometime around late second trimester, I believe. And the earlier the better. It doesn't even matter if your baby is super busy crawling around, walking around while you're reading one of those little tiny baby books. It's okay. Just keep reading, finish that little book, because the babies have what's called an unconscious absorbent mind. So they still hear you, and they're still paying attention to the fact that you are reading to them. They hear the words even if they're busy. So don't try to just like force them down to sit in a certain way or position to listen to you read, because then you take away the joy of reading and listening to your voice. You want it to stay positive and happy. So just finish reading it off, and then that's it. Go into playing and narrating. But you can read to your baby. Now, what's the magic number for reading books? Well, in a book that I read called Superbaby, it was suggested that you should read, get this, 10 to 12 books a day to your little one. Now, when they're really little, those tiny board books, that's nothing. But when they start getting to around 2.5, 3 years old, and we're talking about longer books like Cat in the Hat, 12 sounds crazy. But you can do it. I've done it. You totally can do it. I just make it a game or a challenge for myself, and I just try to grab books, take it with us, put them in my purse, put them in the car. Like, we literally have books everywhere. They're in the living room, in the playroom, in the kids' bedrooms, everywhere. So we have no excuse not to grab a book when there's just a little bit of a down moment. Now, if I don't make the goal, it's totally okay. You don't want to put too much pressure on yourself in that. Just make it a fun game and just start over the next day. Even if you got only 6 books in, or 2, or whatever, at least you did something, right? So that's the goal here. Keep trying. Alright, so I know a long time ago people got really obsessed with having music playing in the background all the time for their children, or some sort of educational DVD playing in the background always for your kids. Listen up. Less background noise is better. They can better hear you when you're talking if there isn't a bunch of noise going around in the background. Imagine music playing in the background and you're trying to learn a new foreign language like Spanish or Chinese, okay? And you have to try to hear the beginning and ending sounds of that foreign language of Chinese, and you speak English, of Chinese, and you have to hear it over Mozart playing. You're gonna have a hard time getting that pronunciation correct. So when it's time to sit down and really talk to your baby and really engage, make sure you turn off the screen, you turn off the music, and let them hear your beautiful voice. It's enough, trust me. Real quick, you guys, if you are liking this video, please take a second to hit that thumbs up to say that you like it, and don't forget to share with your parent friends at the end of the video, okay? I know they want to hear this information too. Don't be stingy. Share. Okay, so this is really, really important. Now that we've gotten past some of the key tips that I want you to go home with, I need you to know about the common mistakes, okay? This is important too. Some parents do this. I know I'm guilty of having done it at a point myself. Don't be a tester. Just because you're thinking about 30,000 words does not mean you need to give your child 30,000 questions. Okay? Just like, what is that? What do you see? What color is this? Where are we going? Okay, we gotta switch it up. Give some variety. Try to narrate more and question less. Don't get extreme and think no questions at all, but also don't get extreme and think questions all day, every day. No. You need to have a nice balance. So try to narrate and try not to be the tester. Who likes taking a test? All day long. No one. And also avoid trying to be the superstar parent. Don't be superstar mommy and entertain your child with all of your beautiful words and just get so caught up in that you're not letting your child interact or be involved in the process. Language and communication it's two-way. So you have to give your child the space, right, to actually interact with you. So make sure they're involved. Don't make it about you entertaining them. Make it about a collaborative effort. Lastly, don't be too helpful. being too helpful can kind of put you in the mode of correcting too much. And when you're just learning something new, you know, you kind of can burst their bubble by always correcting them and always helping them finish the sentence or helping them finish the sound. Give them some space for self-correction, okay? They really will learn through mimicking you, so you don't always have to stop them like, no, it's not, it doesn't sound like that. No, it doesn't sound like that. No, let me help you. Breathe, okay? Let them go through the process. If they get it incorrect, you can model for them the correct sound later. Remember, they're still really little and they're just learning. So give them the space to interact with you without you being overly helpful, which ends up being overly annoying. Okay, so now that you've learned about the mistakes, some tips, some of the benefits that you would probably like to learn about is the fact that learning language is supposed to make you smarter. I mean, you think in a language, right? How do you think without words? How? That little voice in your head? It's saying something. It has a language. Okay? Also, less frustration and less tantrums during the toddler years because they're able to communicate with you better. So that's also a plus of thinking about language and how to improve it and promote it. And lastly, of course, as I mentioned earlier, a head start in school. It's linked to academic performance, so you really want to get on it and help your child be the best they can be in school later on by starting now. Okay, you guys, I could go on and on and on about this subject. I've just read too much, okay? So let me know in the comment section if there is a specific area of the video that you would like for me to elaborate on. I would be glad to make a video about that and help out any parents in any way that I can. Also, remember, if you didn't do it already, subscribe, like, and of course share with your parent friends. And tell me, when did your child first start saying words and what were their first words? For my kids, Jackson, his first word was dada. Ori's first word was also dada, and Kelly had to be different, the girl, and her first word was actually in Spanish. It was papa because she liked potatoes. Alright, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye. Great pronunciation.
Great pronunciation.
Okay, that's enough. High five.
Let's do some more.
That's enough.
Okay.
Say bye-bye. Can you tell YouTube bye? Say bye, YouTubers.
Bye, YouTubers. I'm going to sit right there and watch Jackson.
Okay.
Come on.